Good morning. This is X-Pulse AI Morning Mix. Today is Friday, July 17th, 2026. We're hitting Databricks' massive valuation jump, Apple's AI green light in China, Nvidia's Japan push, and what's changing in healthcare AI. Orion's here with me. Ready to roll?
Ready. Let's do it.
Databricks just put a very loud number on the board. What happened?
Databricks said in a press release on July 16th that it signed a term sheet for a strategic funding round valuing the company at $188 billion, with the round expected to close soon.
And they're tying this directly to new AI product development, right?
Yes, Databricks said the capital accelerates AI products, including Unity AI Gateway, Genie, and Lakebase. It's a signal they want tighter control of the full enterprise stack, governance and access, natural language interfaces, and data infrastructure tuned for AI workloads.
Give me the real-world read. What changes for the market when Databricks is valued like this?
It raises the pressure on every data platform to prove they can ship production AI, not just demos. Also, strategic round usually means partnerships and distribution, so expect deeper bundling with big buyers and more aggressive pushes into regulated, high-volume enterprises.
On the consumer side, Apple finally clears a big hurdle in China. What's the news?
The Mercury News, citing Bloomberg, reported on July 15th that Chinese regulators approved Apple Intelligence for use in China. The local version integrates services from Alibaba and Baidu, and both companies confirmed their roles.
So this isn't just a switch flip, it's Apple Intelligence, but localized.
Exactly. Apple needed a compliant setup, local partners, local integrations, and the regulatory green light. This approval removes the biggest barrier to shipping AI features in China, where domestic phone makers have been racing ahead with their own on-device and cloud AI.
What should listeners watch for next? Feature parity or distribution?
Both, but distribution is the immediate win. The deeper question is user experience. If the assistant, search, or content services rely on Alibaba and Baidu pieces, Apple has to make it feel seamless. It just works is harder when it just integrates.
Nvidia also made noise in Japan. New model, new coalition. What did CNBC report?
CNBC reported on July 16th that Nvidia unveiled a new model called Cosmos 3 Edge and expanded its physical AI ecosystem in Japan during Jensen Huang's visit. Nvidia said a coalition is forming with intended participation from industrial giants like Fujitsu, Hitachi, and Kawasaki Heavy Industries.
Physical AI sounds like robots, factories, sensors, the non-chatbot stuff.
That's the idea. AI that connects to the real world, manufacturing, logistics, inspection, and autonomy. Nvidia also flagged moves into healthcare and biotechnology, including agentic AI use cases for advanced sciences and drug discovery.
Japan as a strategic push. What's Nvidia really selling here?
A full-stack production story, hardware, models, software, and industry partners who can deploy at scale. It's also a playbook. Pick a region, lock in major incumbents, and make your platform the default. It's like enterprise standard, but with forklifts.
Let's go to healthcare. CNN had a notable partnership, Mayo Clinic and Microsoft.
Yes, CNN reported on July 16th that Mayo Clinic is running AI pilots to improve patient care and is partnering with Microsoft to develop an AI model specifically trained for healthcare use.
When a health system builds a purpose-trained model, what's the promise and the risk?
The promise is safer, more reliable outputs for clinical workflows, less generic behavior, better grounding in medical language and processes. The risk is governance. What data goes in, how bias and errors are measured, and how quickly pilots become real care decisions. Do no harm is a tough product requirement.
Does this signal the next phase? Custom clinical models over general chat assistants.
More like a hybrid. General models stay as the interface layer, but the clinical core gets specialized, fine-tuned, constrained, and audited. The winners will be the teams that make deployment boring, stable, monitored, and quietly useful.
Back to Apple, this time on infrastructure. Engadget says Apple is shopping for AI chip companies.
Engadget reported on July 15th that Apple is exploring acquisitions of AI chipmakers to strengthen server-side AI processing. The report says Apple's current M2 ultra-powered servers are insufficient, and it follows Apple's large chip purchase deal with Broadcom.
Why buy instead of just scaling what they already do with Apple Silicon?
Server inference at Apple's scale is brutal. Networking, memory bandwidth, power efficiency, and compiler software all matter. Buying a specialist can accelerate server-grade know-how, packaging, interconnects, and inference-optimized designs faster than building every piece from scratch.
Is this about cost, independence, or keeping Apple Intelligence fast?
All three. If Apple wants consistent latency and privacy-preserving workflows, it needs predictable capacity. Owning more of the stack also reduces exposure to GPU shortages and vendor roadmaps. In AI, we'll just add servers is the new we'll just add engineers.
Policy moment, but a big one. Leaders from DeepMind, OpenAI, and Anthropic sounding aligned. What did Axios report?
Axios reported on July 16th that CEOs and senior leaders from Google DeepMind, OpenAI, and Anthropic have publicly signaled broad agreement that frontier AI needs urgent regulation. The discussions revived proposals for an international certification forum, similar in concept to the International Atomic Energy Agency.
When the biggest builders ask for regulation, people get suspicious. What's the practical interpretation?
It can be sincere safety concern and competitive strategy at the same time. Practically, an external certification or testing regime could standardize evaluations, restrict access to the most capable systems, and set rules for audits. It also shifts power toward whoever can comply fastest.
So if this moves forward, it changes how models ship, not just how they're debated.
Right. If certification becomes a gating step, release cycles slow, documentation gets heavier, and third-party testing becomes a core part of product. The upside is fewer unpleasant surprises. The downside is it favors big labs. Paperwork loves company.
All right, rapid-fire round to catch the other signals people will be talking about today. Start with enterprise AI competition.
TechCrunch, citing Bloomberg sources, reported on July 15th that Microsoft has been coaching sales teams to emphasize Microsoft's in-house models as more cost-effective and efficient than OpenAI and Anthropic, including guidance that encourages negative comparisons during outreach.
Meanwhile, chip access keeps getting messier. What's the latest on Nvidia?
Tech Times reported on July 15th that after updated U.S. commerce guidance, Nvidia tightened a buyer whitelist with in-person compliance reviews and reportedly cut more than half of prior Asian buyers who didn't meet requirements. It's a reminder that supply isn't just manufacturing, it's policy.
On regulation, we've got moves in Australia and in the United States. What's in those?
The Guardian reported on July 15th that Australia created an Office of AI and announced Australian standards for AI, including commitments on creative industry protections and data use, with legislation planned next year. Biometric Update reported on July 15th a U.S. bill proposal to curb AI harms to children and require bias reviews in sensitive sectors like housing, lending, and healthcare.
Back to healthcare adoption. Two separate data points, UCSF and ambient documentation. What's the gist?
Fortune reported on July 15th that UCSF Health launched an in-system AI accelerator backed by Kleiner Perkins and Door Capital, embedding founders inside the health system before building. And AJMC reported on July 16th that nearly two-thirds of U.S. hospitals on Epic have adopted ambient AI documentation tools, with higher uptake among larger, better-funded hospitals.
And one funding round on the infrastructure plumbing side. Who raised what?
SiliconANGLE reported on July 16th that Spectro Cloud raised $100 million to simplify enterprise AI infrastructure management, GPUs, storage, networking, and security policies, aiming to reduce the operational friction of running models in production.
That's XPulse AI Morning Mix from XPulse for Friday, July 17th, 2026. Share it with someone who'd actually read the release notes. See you next time.